Welcome to Everyday Talk. I am your host, Lamar, ChampMaker Wright, and we have the co-host, Steve Oswanski.
Thank you, Lamar. Happy to be back, man.
Good. It's our second week. How'd your week go?
It was a good week. And it was a long weekend, too. So I got to catch up on whatever I needed to and got to rest up a little bit. Everything is great.
Oh, you didn't have to work today because of the holiday, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right. So, man, I'll tell you what, man. You saved me coming here because I got a blowout. I didn't get a flat tire. I got a blowout.
Yeah, I thought you just had a flat, and I was like, all right, fine. I'll help coach out with a flat. But that thing was shredded. There was like little pieces of steel hanging out the side and everything.
You know what I call those?
What's that?
Black problems.
I'm going to buy you a spare, my friend.
call those black problems. All right, man. So what we're going to talk about today is on social media circulating the Netflix new hit, Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, I didn't even know about this guy until you kind of mentioned it, and I started looking it up. I'm only about an hour in, but I'm starting to get the idea of what this man's story was about.
So you didn't know him at all?
No, because I'm not a huge football fan.
No.
I like to watch fights sometimes. I like to watch that stuff, but when it comes to like pro ball, I'm just not really a huge fan. I just don't watch it. Never really have.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a guy who had who really had everything, man, and just like threw it all away. Just I guess they said he had the CTE.
Yeah, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. I'm messing that up, but you know why I liked him so. So here's the deal. We should probably recap it just like the 2-second version, for everybody that doesn't know, because I can't be the only person that doesn't know about this story. I mean, Netflix is making it popular now, but the reason I'm so fascinated is because I like psychology a lot. I like the way people's brains work, and this whole story is all about that. I mean,
right.
That's what the fascinating part of the story is. It's not a football story at all. It's a story about a man who became insanely famous, incredibly talented, all sorts of brain damage. But tell everybody a little background. Who's Aaron Hernandez?
He was a tight end that played for, was it the Gators? Yeah.
Okay.
The Gators. He's from Connecticut, played for the Gators, tight end, played with Tim Tebow.
Okay.
Won a national championship there. He should have been going to like the NFL from college. The NFL hires private investigators. They do your whole background.
Yeah.
They do their due diligence on everyone. Mm-hmm. So they did their due diligence on him. They already seen issues that he had. So that's why he went so late into the draft. But he became like a mega tight end, mega superstar in the tight end. And when when he allegedly killed one of his friends, he just signed $40 million deal for 5 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, he had everything, man, and he killed. He killed the 2 people, but no, he didn't, because he got.
Yeah, he was acquitted.
He got acquitted on that charge.
So he didn't do anything. He wasn't proven guilty enough.
So when he was right, so a year before he got his $40 million deal, allegedly he killed those 2.
So here's what caught me. If it was just another superstar that made a bunch of bad decisions, I probably wouldn't have been that into it. But you got to think this guy was a young man. He crazy talented, so he's playing at extreme. So he's not playing to just be pretty good or kind of hit the NFL, and just make his career, 15, 20 years or whatever. Dude went all in, and he ended up getting paid huge chunk of cash. That's an extreme. And then I found out about all the brain damage the guy had, and he had like 10 times the amount of damage as somebody that first showed signs of that CTE. And so his brain was like Swiss cheese. Mm-hmm. And so what I remember from studying psychology was that when you have that level of brain trauma, that CTE, you have no impulse control, flashes of aggression. So for a dude that's already playing at extremes, right? Like, I'm going to be the best at this. I'm going to get paid higher than anybody else. Everything is just big, boom, boom. And then you don't have impulse control. Your whole life is insane high swinging impulses,
Right.
And then you take that control away. And I went, oh man, this is fascinating. So you train and you tell a man to be, as extreme as possible and play to the absolute ends of whatever, the game is. And then you take away his ability to kind of check himself. And the details on the case, I just haven't studied it. I don't know about that part. But to see somebody who's been get basically congratulated, rewarded for being absolutely extreme, and then he does something extreme, I don't know why anybody would have been, surprised almost.
But like a lot of people who play with him say, we never seen that side of him. And so, after the autopsy and they dissected his brain, they said he had CTE, one of the worst cases of CTE. So my thing is how doesn't anyone who's around him see that type of like sporadic behavior, like just out of control? Because he was with a friend. Allegedly, again, him and the friend got in an argument. The friend fell asleep in the back seat. This guy actually testified against him in court, and the guy woke up and Aaron Hernandez shot him straight in the face.
And that was the story put in front of the judges.
Right,
Yeah.
And that guy actually testified against Aaron Hernandez in the first trial, and then tried to do it again in the second trial. But like Jose Baez, the one that represented Casey Anthony, like tore him apart.
So what do you think? Like, if you got a person like Aaron Hernandez doing what he's doing, paid the way he's paid, and you can give these guys scans, you can find out how much brain damage they have and stuff like that. What does that mean? So we know that this case can happen now. We know that this scenario can happen, and there's a whole bunch of other extreme athletes that are probably catching head trauma just like this. Does that mean anything?
I'll look at it from this point. If his case was that extreme, how was he able? Because like if you speak to all his teammates that were around him, they said they never seen that side of him. If it was that extreme, how is he able to cut it on and cut it off?
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
So I like it. I got all sorts of thoughts here, man. So you mentioned this before. Like I'm into science, and like my focus is zoology, biology. That's where I've been trained. So what do you know about like a crocodile or an alligator, crocodilians in general?
Well, Steve, we stay away from those.
Yeah, that's
things.
right. Because their brains, they don't have all the extra pieces.
Right.
The parts that were worn away in Aaron Hernandez are the pieces that, like, a crocodile just doesn't have. And when you get up next to a crocodile, they either are cool with it, or they're going to eat the thing that you have, or they're going to get mad and they're going to attack you. It's almost mechanical. And so in the right environment, you can predict them. It's like a mechanical robot sort of reaction. So if you got somebody who's back down to just the parts of their brain that are primitive, the parts of there that are like, the first grown parts of the brain, then those are the ones that are just going to react. So you put them in the right scenario, they just react the right way. You put them in this scenario, it's just like muscle memory, You put them on a football field, dude's just going to play good football.
Yeah, but he's not showing any of that, like, impulsive behavior around anybody that he knows. Like, this is what got me not believing the whole CTE thing, because like if I'm around that alligator, right, it's gonna show its true color at some point. Like, I gotta be on guard with this alligator, because I could turn my back on it and it will bite me, or alligator roll me, whatever they do. It's gonna show its true color at some point. But this guy had the ability to turn it on and turn it off.
I'm not insanely invested in like the details of the case, and I don't have enough. So I'm not pretending like I'm an expert on Aaron Hernandez, but I'm an expert on alligators. And so I got this one, right? I've had a whole bunch of these things, and I can get up to one, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I can be right in his face all the time. But as soon as I cross that line, that like do not enter zone, or I hit him just the wrong way, or I approach it just the wrong way, it's totally different. It's a trigger, and he just reacts. And there's no check, there's no think, there's no like, oh, you're that guy that's not going to hurt me or just give me food or whatever. It's just game time.
Right.
It's just all on. And I wonder if a human being can be that way. Like they're in a good spot. $40 million to buy a pretty comfortable spot. And you're just always there, and you're always happy. And in game time, you just do your game time thing. And then, holy crap, I just got involved in a situation where this is dangerous. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I'm angry or whatever. And then you just don't check it. You just fly off the handle in that direction. I don't know if that's possible, but if we're playing by animal brain rules, that's the way it works for them. I'm curious.
So to end it off, to round off the conversation, do you believe that his behavior was contributed to CTE?
I would be really surprised if it played zero role. Like that dude had more to lose than many people. And so if his brain was fully functioning just like you or mine, I'd probably protect myself and not make those mistakes because I wouldn't want to lose this beautiful thing I had going. So my guess is there had to be something going on there, a contributing factor.
Well, I'm on the other side of the fence.
Okay.
I think this dude is just a sick dude that can turn it on and turn it off at any time. And when he went to prison, when he was locked up, the sheriff was like, yo, I've never seen nothing like this. Like, this dude welcomes this. Like, he's okay being in the cell by himself. So it's like, man, this dude, like, I don't know. I don't know. If you guys haven't seen it, go to Netflix, check out the series. It's like, what, 3-part series?
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 hours worth of material.
Check it out. You guys will be shocked. There's a lot of stuff and I follow football, so I knew a lot of the stuff that happened with Aaron Hernandez, but there's a lot of twists and turns from his upbringing to the time of his death. So if you guys haven't went and seen it, that's the Aaron Hernandez story on Netflix. Go check it out. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Everyday Talk. Again, you are listening to your host, Lamar ChampMaker Wright, and your co-host, Steve Oswanski.
What's up? Good to be here.
So, here we go, Steve. I put on my social media, I put a tough question up. And I knew what I was doing from the get-go, right? But let me tell you how it started.
Okay.
So, my oldest daughter, she's being funny because she thinks she's almost, grown. But anyway, she did a nice gesture, cooked me, her mother, and her siblings all, breakfast. Mm-hmm. A very big breakfast. It was actually good. But she was, she's funny. She's a little prankster, nice personality. So I hear her in the kitchen when she's getting the plates together saying, well, give this one to mom, give this one to your brother, give this one to give this one to dad. I was the last one, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, she did it to be funny. So now I'm going to play with her. So after she got done eating, and we all got done eating, I said, you know what? To be a good wife, there's one thing you're always going to have to understand. She said, what? I said, if you ever meet a good man in life, that's a great provider, right?
Okay.
That does everything for you. That pays your bills, gives you this, gives you that. Matter of fact, the man has to be like your dad, right? So he has to, the good man will love you like your dad loves you. Will do everything and treat you the way your dad treats you. Mm-hmm. That's a good man. I said, so you always feed him first. So she went on about it. Yeah, it was a big discussion between me and her because she's very vocal as well. Between me, I said, you know what? Well, I'll ask Facebook. So when I posted it on Facebook, I knew the type of reaction it was going to get, but I thought I was winning. So my post on Facebook said, who eats first, the kids or the man of the house? And at first, for about 15 minutes, I was 20-0. Mm-hmm. And then I just got I don't know how many comments now. So it was pretty split and it was getting controversial.
So daughter comes at you, messing with dad.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you get whatever scraps are left at the end of the breakfast.
That's what she did to me.
And then you double down, turn back around and say, look, daughter.
Right.
I'm gonna need that place first next time.
Correct.
And so I saw your post, man, and we were at a party with some of our mutual friends, mm-hmm. and I was like, man, I know what Coach is doing. He's trying to stir the pot. You did it. The pot. You did it all the way. So
stirred the pot.
A couple hundred comments later, and it looks like nobody has a straight answer. And so I'll tell you what happens at my house. Is that what do you eat most of the time? You eat first?
I do, but not by choice. And now that we had this conversation, I look at it like, well, damn, I do get my plate of food first. But I grew up in a house like that too, though. Like with my grandmother and mm-hmm. grandpa, and then I grew up that way as well. I always seen the provider. I'm talking about a provider. I'm not talking about a deadbeat.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the provider.
Okay. So do you mean your question? Who eats first, the kids or the provider?
The man in the house. Well, yeah, or the man or the provider. Well, today women are the provider now too.
What? So. Yeah, I was gonna say. Maybe maybe I'm just gonna stay home and have somebody else. I'll feed them first. There's no problem. I'll just relax. No, I'm playing. But in my house, my daughter is a slow eater.
Right.
And so I'm motivated to get her up and running because I know that I'm going to have to sit there and look at her and go, finish up. I'm going to do what are you doing? Eat the rest of your food. And so we'll get her a jump start like maybe 10 minutes early sometimes, depending on what we're having. And so I never even thought about it. I know that my grandfather on one side, he got his plate first. Mm-hmm. And I know that my grandfather on the other side, he did the cooking half the time.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe he served himself first, but he was doing the cook. So we never even really thought about it. But I feed my kids first, but it's almost a matter of convenience.
But you still, so it sounds to me that you still eating dinner the traditional way, sitting at the table with each other.
We're like at a kitchen counter. So we got a whole table, but we
you
never
guys
use
still
it.
sit with each other though.
Yeah, I'm kind of a stickler for that, man. I don't want to.
Traditions, man, I get it.
Yeah, gotta talk with the family.
Yeah.
And put your cell phone away, no tablet. Like that's just how I play out dinner. If everybody can be in the house for dinner, we're all sitting and talking to each other.
See, in our house, it's not like that. It's, hey, come here, dinner's done, that. So I think when she gets done cooking, she just brings me like automatically. Plus, listen, my kids do nothing but go to school and play the game all day. Mm-hmm. I'm hungry. Mm-hmm. I need my food. Mm-hmm. So it's like, so I bet to me it wasn't a big issue, man, but it blew up on social media. People taking it out of context. Oh, you should be starving the kids. Starving the kids? Like, come on. Like, I wouldn't even have put that question up there if someone was starving kids. Like,
everybody's gonna get food now.
Yeah, like, any real man is gonna. I've done it before. Mm-hmm. I'm not too proud to say I've done it before. Like my wife and I have done it. Like we got 6 children, so sometimes times were hard. We went without to make sure their bellies were full. Mm-hmm. So that question was not, was very taken. Then people got, well, the Bible says the man eats first. Mm-hmm. Then people, the Bible says you shouldn't have kids unless you're married first. So it was getting blown out of context. So to me, the man eats first.
Yeah, and so for me, I'm kind of like, whatever's gonna do damage control.
Right.
If my wife is a little bit extra hungry and angry, I'll probably dish her food out right now because I want to make sure that she's having a real comfortable time, because I know that I'm going to be talking to him for 30 minutes at least, and I want to be happy. I want it smooth. But she serves me every now and then. I don't know what it is, but when that post went up, I went, oh, here we go. And so the reason that I like our conversations, the reason that I like this post, is because it drags something out of somebody that, you're forced to have those uneasy conversations.
Right.
You're forced to kind of check in with, where your culture and your upbringing and your religion all kind of cross up. And who would have thought, who's eating food first, even if it's 30 seconds ahead of the next person?
Right.
That was going to bring out religion, and it was going to bring out culture, and it was going to bring out everything from everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, it was like 200 comments on that thing, and all those topics were covered. And some were real cool about it, and other people just wanted to they were bombing the Facebook site.
And the verdict's still out. I still don't have a definite answer of it was split. Mm-hmm. Some people went left field with the question, but overall it was split. So it will never be it'll be a never-ending argument.
Here's another perspective, a whole nother perspective. Mm-hmm. Back when humans were hunters and gatherers, mm-hmm. or if you look at animals, the one that has to kill and hunt and bring the food home,
the woman.
Frequently, well, in lions.
Yeah,
but not always. And so the person that's going to kill that thing and needs to burn all that energy and sacrifice their body to kill that thing and bring those calories home,
they eat first.
But
that's the provider, right? That's
the provider.
See?
But the only reason that provider system kind of worked out, as far as I've been able to read, study, and understand, is that if they are too weak to go out and do it the next time, everybody's dead.
Right.
And so if you're taking that perspective, I bet you every hardcore biologist, zoologist out there is going, Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, okay. I can follow that logic. So I like to play that game, right? Like
I'm gonna play that game.
Well, so you got like
You just helped
culture
me out.
and like what everybody is just trying to feel good about, what their upbringing was, what the books have told them or whatever. But then you have like, the biology and the truth and like what's deep down inside of you, where you came from.
So you saying the book is ain't truth now?
Some
You trying to slide it in there?
Oh, no.
No. You said
yeah,
it
that's
in
right.
there.
I'm going down this topic.
You said it. You slid it in there. So you said that people, the truth and biology, but they say the book say this. So what's the truth?
Let me rephrase it then.
No, you're gonna save that for next week because we're gonna talk about biology and religion next week.
That's gonna get dangerous. I'm in.
I love it.
I'm in. I like talking to you about
You
this
look
stuff.
like an evolutionist. Not an Is that what you would call him? Like someone who believes in
evolutionary biologist.
There you go.
So
help me out.
I like these systems because they're beautiful tools to understand what's going to happen next, what's going on.
What's that?
The what you talk about evolution. That's a tool that can do work for me. But religion, the books, the big books, and we won't even get into the specifics yet. Those are magnificent tools that teach about human culture and human psychology and how to keep a society alive. So those are tools that serve this very kind of special purpose. So I'm not gonna be hardline on one or the other until I think a tool is a piece of crap or broken or trying to do the wrong thing. And that's what I mean by truth, right? I wanna figure out.
He's cleaning it up, you guys.
Yeah. yeah. Backpedal hard. But we're gonna get into this hard, I guess, next week.
Next week we got. So before we go, let me ask you: do you believe we evolved from apes?
I was born and raised and schooled for 13 years Roman Catholic, and then all I've studied since then is biology, zoology, and evolution and that kind of stuff. So I am sitting on an interesting perspective where I got the training this way and that, and right now, no, man, this is next week. Because how are we gonna wrap this up if I start now?
No, I just wanted to know, yes or no.
I can't wait to talk to you about this because I'm gonna hang with your side, and then I'm gonna try to mess it up with this other side.
All right.
And then I'll tell you where I stand.
But I come from the same walk as you do. Is like from a religious standpoint. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, believing in Christ was a savior and all that. And then once I got about 15, 16, I was able to start thinking on my own, and I started exploring other religions and found Islam would fit for me better. So kind of in line with each other there. So can't wait for this one.
Yeah, we're broad scope
Make sure
on
you
this
study.
one. I'm gonna have to.
Make sure you study.
I don't want to sound like an idiot.
No, you never would. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys go check out our Facebook page. Everyday Talk Podcast is on Facebook. Make sure you guys follow and share and like and subscribe on Spotify.
Yeah,
And
comment. Let us know. How are we doing? What do you want us to talk about?
Yeah, give us some topics. That's what we really want. We want to interact with you guys. Let us get some topics. Maybe we can bring somebody over here, like on an interview, phone interview. Or maybe you guys can come and. We just took over Vince's stuff for our studio, so we appreciate Vince at Extreme Resorts because we just walked right in here and took over his little studio.
Yeah,
it's now our studio.
This is my favorite gym in town.
It's the best gym in town.
No doubt.
There you go, Vince. There's a little commercial for you, man. If you guys want to get the real results, hit up Vince at Extreme Resorts. ER419.com. There you go. Appreciate you guys. Until next week, next Tuesday. Make sure you guys hit those messages in them inboxes. We want to hear from you guys. For me and Steve, we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Later.